Hi, this is John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope. I'm not driving. Sir James is driving, just to be clear. But this was so important, I needed to do it on the run. I did a video on how we got here with what many are calling, and I think unfortunately, accurately so, are calling a voter suppression bill that passed in the state legislature and was signed into law here in Georgia. It's very unfortunate. I did a video on how we got here. Now let me talk about what happens once you get here and what leadership looks like. I want to start by commending the CEO of Delta, Ed Bastian, who I would say is a friend of mine. He issued a statement this morning, which is unequivocal. The right to vote is sacred. The right to vote is sacred for all Americans. He said what everybody knows also, that there was no voter fraud in the recent election. The highest courts representing those with political views from both parties, meaning that they were appointed by Republican and Democratic presidents or Republican and Democratic governors, and they all came to the same conclusion. There was no voter suppression. There was no voter fraud, but yet we are here. Ed's statement does not get into politics. It's just the facts. What I love about math is it does not have an opinion. It's just the facts, which is that suppressing the right to vote, making it difficult for anybody to vote legitimately is not good for America. It's not good for any democracy, and it should not be supported. What most people don't know, when I talk to Mr. Bastian, I'm gonna call him Mr. Bastian at the moment because I'm just holding him, and I want to give him every formal title I can at the moment. We spoke last night, and I learned of the backroom discussions in the last few weeks of him and other CEOs trying to pull the most egregious parts of this bill out. So whatever you're looking at now, it was worse. It was much worse. And they thought they had done good, and they had done good. But this bill shouldn't be in place at all. Now, the reality is that the structure of the legislature and the state politics right now means that if they wanted to pass a bill, they were going to pass it. So the business leaders thought the best they could do was to dilute and water down some of the egregious parts and get it pulled out. A couple offensive parts, as we know, are still in there. And then there was this impression that somehow Mr. Bastian and others were endorsing this, and that they could not stand for. So Ed, rightly so, yesterday did a statement for his own people before I spoke to him, clarifying his position and clarifying Delta's position. And today they came out with an even stronger statement, which just makes my heart sing. I put it in the comment section, in the notes, here in the description, so you can read it for yourself. We were with Mr. Bastian a few weeks ago, Ambassador Andrew Young, my mentor, our global spokesman at Operation Hope, when Delta dedicated their headquarters building in honor of Andrew J. Young, Ambassador Andrew J. Young, who was on Delta's board, who helped to make Delta a great company, helped to make Delta as successful as it is today. It has been black and brown turning into green, right? Black and white turning into green. In other words, the color is green. And Atlanta has proven that diversity and inclusion is the best business model. That places that are stuck on this ridiculous debate go broke. They lose GDP, they lose companies, they lose new entrants. Nobody wants to go places that has made it clear they don't want them. It's a wrong image for a city. Atlanta, up until now, has really done a good job of being inclusive. That's why we're the largest economy in the South. That's why we're the only international city in the South. That's why we're the 10th largest economy in the country. That's why we're the one of the 35 top economies in the world. Did you know that? Did you know that that Atlanta is one of the top 35 economies in the entire world? This is because of the magic sauce. And we got it right here, and we don't want to step on our toes and get it wrong. And when folks are talking about picketing Atlanta, that doesn't hurt Georgia, it hurts Atlanta, right? You pull Atlanta out of Georgia, and as I said, Georgia is poorer than Mississippi, arguably. And Atlanta is this microcosm, this message, this place of opportunity for all. So it's important that leaders here, to the best of their ability, try to stick up for what's best in America, because I believe we're the moral capital of this country. Companies can't do everything, leaders can't do everything, but they can do what they find a path forward to do that's in everyone's enlightened self-interest. And as you'll read from the statement today from Delta CEO, this is not strident, this is not emotional, this is not partisan, it's just common sense. The right to vote is sacred. No one should make it difficult for people to vote. That this was a complicated process, and this leader thought it was important to go beyond just trying to make sure that the worst parts of the bill was not in the bill, did not make it in, which was successful. Based on what I know, it was successful. It would have been 100 times worse than what it is now. But also that it be known that support of the bill in general is not there. That this was unnecessary, unnatural, and unneeded. Unnecessary, unnatural, and unneeded. Those are my words, not Ed's. Read, I don't want to put any words in Ed's mouth. Read the statement for yourself. Again, this is just sticking up for the best of America, the best of this country. I think it just made me proud, and it's why they're such a great company and why he's such a great leader. And we should commend him and thank him and commend other leaders that hopefully will follow his lead. It's just good common sense. We are better together. We can take no pleasure from the fact that there's a hole in my end of our boat. If I sink, you sink. We're all in this thing together. And when we bound together and rise up together, GDP, gross domestic product, rises up together, economic opportunity rises up together, justice and fair play rises up together. Everybody wins. And sometimes when you have campaigns or you have votes, political, I'm talking about elections, you have winners and you have losers. That has to be accepted, right? When my friend Miss Clinton lost the election, we accepted that. When Mr. Trump lost the election, that should be accepted too. Let's move on and suit up for the next campaign on whatever battlefield or competitive field, not a battlefield, competitive field, shouldn't be battlefield, you happen to sit on and to be on. But we should not be shooting ourselves in the foot. We should understand, once again, we're better together. And on that point, that's the only point of this video, we're better together. And Ed Bash today are led in the true spirit of Robert Woodruff, who was the CEO of Coca-Cola in the 60s when Atlanta's business leaders refused to honor Dr. King when he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And it was the mayor who had to go to the former CEO of Coca-Cola, Woodruff, to ask him to provide moral leadership. And he told everybody in that room, everybody in Atlanta, we're an international supply chain company. This man has won the most important award in the world. If you don't want to honor him, we're going to move out of this little backward city. Go someplace people have got some sense. And by the way, he said, my guess is a lot of you guys are vendors, so you might want to think about this. Well, within 2 weeks, everybody in Atlanta, business leaders got together and honored Dr. King, and that's the visual you see in the history books, but it did not get there easily. It's because the then CEO of Coca-Cola did the right thing and stood up for what was right. It was, again, we're better together. And Coca-Cola benefited from decades of black and brown people supporting its brand to this very day. It's one of its most profitable places for business is in Africa. Yeah, I just think that we have got to find a new software upgrade on how we all lead. A new software upgrade on how we all lead. And we need to not be threatened by each other, but be strengthened by each other. We're better together. Delta Airlines, thank you for doing the right thing. Your employees are cheering. Your customers are cheering. I am cheering, just because it was a radical movement of common sense. John O'Brien, love and light. And Operation Hope is proud to be your partner, providing financial coaching for your employees, by the way, to sort of put the cherry on the top.